we're going to start off with choice here. So whoever wants to have a little speak first, please start speaking for 3 minutes, and then we'll move on to life.
Okay.
Pretty much, it is a legal right in the majority of the
Sure.
world. In the majority of the world,
Should
women
we
make up
speak
almost half of the population.
rules?
We have the right to choose. Women have
Already.
been going through a trajectory in history of trying to maintain equality for a very long time. It has been an uphill battle of attaining the rights, same wages, equal pay, and now we're being told what to do with our bodies. Like, no, not at all. This is unacceptable. We see that a fetus is not yet a full human being, but the woman is. What if the woman is in a situation where she was attacked or raped or victim of incest? She should be like forced to go through with the pregnancy. And that is one of the main points that we discuss. I'm going to pass this on.
We're in the position that life is more sacrosanct, and it is not merely about a woman and her choice in this sense. It's not like what is growing inside the woman is a parasite. Now, if there is some sort of virus or anything else that might harm a woman, it's perfectly understandable for her to take any action to protect herself and her life. But this is another life that is being created by two people, and it has that right to exist. So you cannot just compare it so simply to something that is an inconvenience to be removed. The example you used about certain circumstances that are very unfavorable, like rape, I think most people would concede that in those special circumstances, there might be some sort of amnesty worked out for that. But we're talking about the majority of cases, not extreme cases, where sex is a consensual thing. And everyone should know that that is the result of sexual intercourse. There is potentiality for a child to be born, and that is when further care should be made. You are making that choice at that moment of intercourse. You know that the consequence of intercourse can result in a child being born, and that is a responsibility of people to understand this. Furthermore, I think we believe that there should be further help given to people in dire need financially or in severely bad home circumstances. The answer should not simply just to be give up and abort a child. That child can still be brought into the world. Now, whether that can be helped look after by a further support network of extended family or other government assistance, that is a far superior choice than simply stopping a child to exist. You ask anybody ever born whether they'd rather be there and existing or whether you'd rather just be dead. And I guarantee the answer nearly every time will be, oh, yes, I think I'd rather live, please. And that unborn fetus never gets asked that question.
I guess women, anyway, whatever age, can't be forced into having children anyway, because either they might not be ready for it, which is perfectly fine. If you're not ready, why have a child? If you're not financially ready either, if you haven't got the money to raise a child, and as well, contraception isn't 100%. No contraception is 100% effective either. So a lot of the times, contraception can fail even when taken absolutely correctly. So if a woman finds herself pregnant, and obviously, surprise pregnancy, she's going to be very overwhelmed, and that choice should be there, to protect her mental health more than anything, because I guess there are going to be women out there who would probably be suicidal at best, over the thought of having to bring up another human. So I'd rather end a pregnancy, as early as possible, rather than, I guess, end end my own life, if you know what I mean. Some people would, you know, kind of think of the more extreme, you know, ending their own life.
Now, I would like to see a show of hands. How many of you are pet lovers? You love pets? How about you? Thank you. Put your hand up. Put your hand up. Put your hand up. Are you okay with it? The mother, a dog, killing this young, making that choice, killing its own babies they just had. Are you okay with that? If you are, please, if you're okay with that, please raise your hand. Raise your hand. So none of you, except one, will raise their hand about a mother having the choice, killing its own young because it's hungry, for whatever reason. Oh, she's okay with the dog killing, so you wouldn't stop that dog from killing its young. I feel that every child should have a chance at life choice. Now, if you think a mother gets upset or depressed about carrying a child that she doesn't want, talk to the mothers that have killed the child because it was an inconvenience in their body. I'm a strong believer, if you don't want your child because it's an inconvenience, give another person a chance to raise a child. I have a niece that I thank God that her young mother did not decide to abort her, but instead give her a home because she couldn't afford or have the attention to take care of her. And this little girl has a very, very promising future. She's 10 now. She's a ballerina. And she's doing some beautiful, beautiful things.
When you're speaking about that children, that every child is a potential life that has to be grown, that doesn't make sense, and then a woman should have a child every 9 months. Otherwise, you take away a potential life.
The first speaker doesn't consider a female egg and the man's sperm as the beginning of her life. Yet today, because her mother did not abort those two eggs from creating her, she was free to express her opinion on abortion. So thank God that your mother did not abort you. Your life begins when that male sperm fertilizes an egg. And everybody here in this room began that way. Man-made laws does not legalize the killing of a potential beautiful person.
Another thing to say is that it's none of our business who goes for an abortion. It's none of our business. So how is it going to affect you personally if a woman that you don't know is having an abortion for a completely valid reason?
Their own word.
Madam, it's not my business what anybody else on this planet does with their body. But I know that every abortion, and there's over 60 million already in the United States alone, probably hundreds of millions around the world, we have destroyed another me, another you, and another person. Just like every person in this room. They were not given an opportunity. And this is a sin. It's not just breaking the law or obeying the law. It's a sin before the eyes of God.
Listen, just because you're not religious doesn't make his argument no different than yours. So just because you're not religious and he is, there's enough room in this world for all of us. So still respect his views. You don't have to make I am religious. You don't have to make a comment about you not being religious or whatever.
But he's the one that brought religion into it.
Yeah.
So.
My main point, case in point, is it's crazy that those that are anti-choice are the only ones that get a choice here. They are the only ones that get a choice. That
Absolutely.
the only people here that get a choice are those that are anti-choice, and that's not fair. And we are the ones, women, the ones who carry. Let's talk about the stats. How many kids are in foster care? How many kids are in the system? What is the government doing for these kids? I'm a teacher in the public school system in New York City, and I deal with a lot of individuals that, I'm not saying that okay, you're talking about working on Wall Street. I'm talking about the individuals that are trying to get by day by day. What about their choices? It's a different level of choice making here. Okay. Somebody on Wall Street, somebody collecting welfare in the projects. It's different when we have to make a decision about, okay, I have 3 other kids at home to feed. Something didn't go right with the contraception. I didn't mean that to happen. It wasn't about pleasure. Maybe I do have a good family with a husband, wife, but this just isn't our time right now. So who is the one making that decision? So now you're saying, oh, give it to the mother that, who can't have kids. I know women like that can't have children. And let me tell you, they are not knocking down the doors of these orphanages saying, oh, give me a kid, give me a kid. These kids are in the system. ACS is taking care of them. They're in group homes. I teach them. I know them. I know their names. So you can't tell me that these kids are being taken care of.
I just think it's easy for men to criticize and easy for men to make that judgment when you're not the one who has to be sat in an operating room with people scraping your internal organs out and looking inside of you with speculums and tools and everything else that goes alongside pregnancy and miscarriage and abortion. I just think it's just easy for somebody to criticize when they're never going to have to go through that in their entire life.
The fact of the matter is that you take the teacher. If her mother would have decided that her professional life was more important than the child that she's going to one day conceive at the end of 9 months, if her mother would have decided to say, I'm going to get rid of this blob of cells, which already have all her father and mother's DNA, already has the color of her hair, the color of her eyes, the color of her skin. If her mother would have decided to piss that out in the toilet, she would not be here expressing her opinion. The fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter at what stage you abort. You are aborting a creation, a unique individual. And that's a fact. And you all should be grateful that your parents did not abort you, because you would not be here.